Welcome to Book World, The Great Escape. Sorry about that. What happens when you're on live TV? Let me put that on Do Not Disturb. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome to Book World, The Great Escape. I'm author CJ Peterson, and over here is author Michael Scott Clifton. I usually have that on Do Not Disturb. Sorry about that. And down below we have author Jacqueline Smith joining us today. She is a YA author. It stands for Young Adult. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, Jackie and I have been friends for years. Mike asked, how did you meet Jackie? Oh my gosh. Jackie and I have been friends for what, 10 years?
At least, yeah. Like we're booth buddies. We were booth neighbors at a convention, I think in Arlington.
No.
We've done so many, it's hard to keep track.
Like eons ago, like 10 years or so, like way back when. I think my first book award like in 2016. So like way back when. So it's been a long time. I'm super excited to have you on. Jackie has actually outdone me in books. I went to go get Polar book covers off Amazon. I'm like, holy cow, Jackie. I'm super excited to have her on. She's got tons of books and she's got a wide variety of books. We're going to talk about her YA books first. So Jackie, our big question for today is, what makes your YA books different than other YA books?
I think something that sort of sets me apart, and I don't know, I have a wide variety of interest. So I also write in a wide variety of genres. So my first YA book was it's called Boy Band, because I love boy bands. I started out as a One Direction fan, and as you can see now, my life is entirely, my heart entirely belongs to K-pop. But then I also really, really love spooky stories. So like I love ghost stories. I love anything about cryptids. I love haunted dolls. Three of my best friends and I just released a new collection called Dream Scares of completely spooky stories. So, you know, that whole thing about there are two wolves that live inside you, that's very true for me. One likes horror and one likes cute romance.
Very cool. So you are like a multi-genre YA author, pretty much. Now you have more than just that, though. You are a phenomenal photographer.
Oh, thank you.
And so I know when you started doing it, and I'm just like, please, please, please do a book of photography. And you now have multiple photography books as well.
I think I have 10, and I actually just started working on number 11 last night.
Wow.
Yeah. Someone at my last book event recognized me as the nature photography girl. And honestly, that's actually my lifelong dream. My first love is wildlife and photography and conservation. And I've been wanting to make a wildlife book for a while, so I'm finally diving into it.
Very cool. Yeah, do you still volunteer at the zoo?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm going tomorrow.
Very cool. Wow. And I love seeing the pictures when you do go to the zoo. It's so cool. And one thing I was able to pick up last time I saw you at, was it Fan Expo Dallas? Is that where I saw you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I was super excited to find it. You hadn't had the winter one out yet, so I was super excited when you got it.
Yes!
But the Solstice series books, can you explain to them what the Solstice series is? I was super excited when winter finally came out. I was able to get
me too.
Have all of them. So I'm super excited. I have all
Thank
four.
you. I so appreciate you.
Combined version, don't you?
This is, sorry, what?
You have the combined version?
Yes, this is the big version of all four. And that's actually my sister on the cover.
Oh,
yeah, I have all four individual.
Mm-hmm. Thank
you. You have the combined version.
Yes. So this is a project I actually worked on for 14 years. I came up with the idea when I was in grad school taking a children's lit class, and we were studying fairy tales. And I thought, well, okay, it actually began with a snowflake necklace because I was born in the middle of a Texas snowstorm, but I've always preferred the summertime. And I was just kind of thinking about how the seasons do kind of shape our lives. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, it would be neat to write 4 stories, kind of fantasy inspired by the seasons. And over the years, they evolved into fairy tale retellings. Oh, and that was my computer now. It just made a little ding noise. I'm sorry. And I don't know how to turn it off.
I have a do not disturb on mine.
Yeah, this is actually still a relatively new computer, so I don't know how to make it not ding. But yeah, so these are 4 fairy tale retellings inspired by the seasons. Spring is Beauty and the Beast. Summer is The Little Mermaid.
Is this
Autumn is Red Riding Hood. And winter is Sleeping Beauty.
So this is spring's cover individually. So this is
Mhm.
spring, summers,
Yep.
fall, and then winters just came out.
Hmm.
It's interesting.
And then she has them also combined into one. So it's kind of cool. But I was waiting for all of them individually. I like the individual ones.
Thank you.
So how did you? Why, Jackie?
I think
Why right in that particular age group?
I think because reading was such a huge part of my life growing up, and it actually provided an escape for me when things got really hard, that I really wanted readers of all ages to be able to read my work and enjoy it. And maybe it would help someone through a rough period of time in their life, just like reading helped me through a rough period of my life when I was a kid.
Mhm.
Wow.
You have another book that I actually did read, and I really like the story. I have it on my Kindle. It's Shipwreck Girl.
Oh, thank you. I love Shipwreck Girl. It's one of my favorites.
Can you tell people about that one?
So it's about a ballerina. She sustains what she believes to be a career-ending knee injury, but she somehow ends up auditioning for a pop punk music video. And keep in mind that I was a big fan of like music in the early 2000s slash 2012. Before I got into K-pop, I was a punk alternative girly, believe it or not.
Mm,
Um, uh, that's something though that she would never do. But she ends up getting the part.
Mhm.
And, she becomes friends with the band. It's kind of a found family story. And what really inspired it is, I'm not doing what I thought I was going to be doing growing up. I thought I was going to be working with animals exclusively. I thought I was going to be like a killer whale trainer. And, you know, a part of me still mourns that I'm not working with animals in a more one-on-one environment, but at the same time, I do believe that I'm supposed to be that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I still do get to work in education and conservation and, do photography, which I absolutely love. So it's kind of about dreams coming true, but not in the way that you would expect them to.
And
wow.
I love the premise behind that, and that's why I really liked that one. But
Thank
the boy
you.
band is actually a series. There's more than just boy band, isn't there? There's like 3 or 4 of those.
There are 4 books in the boy band series, and actually I put them all together and also in one big collection. It's
Mhm.
very pretty. And Shipwreck Girl is a spin-off of that, but you don't have to read boy band to enjoy Shipwreck Girl.
I read just Shipwreck Girl, and I loved it just
Oh,
standing
thank you. And actually, I do have a sequel in mind. It hasn't materialized just yet because I threw everything I had into the fairy tale retellings, and I'm finishing up the Cemetery Tours series, and I have another. I have
Good
way too
grief.
many ideas.
Wow.
Speaking of the Cemeteries Tour series, that kind of teeters toward the horror end of your multi-genre genres. Can you
A
explain?
little bit. So it was actually my first book. It's about a young man. He can see and talk to the dead. He's tried his whole life to keep it a secret. I wrote it actually to make myself feel better after a personal loss. I needed reassurance that my loved one was still with me, and so I created a character that can actually talk to the dead. And, I wrote it to comfort me, and I've been told that it's comforted others too, so that's all I could
Mm,
ask for.
Mhm.
wow.
But it's actually a series. It's more than just
Yes.
one. There's
Yes,
multiple
there are
now. Like I
4
said, when
books.
you're pulling all of those covers down, I'm like, oh, she's actually got some more of these.
So what if, for example, myself, I didn't know that that you and CJ were such great friends, but obviously y'all go way back. So if someone is wanting to read your books,
Mhm.
which one would you suggest they start with to sort of get the best flavor and how you write? Which one would you want them to start with first?
I mean, I think it wholly depends on what you like. If you like fluffy young adult romance, if you like boy bands, definitely boy band. If you like spooky horror, you could either start with Cemetery Tours, or I actually do have 2 collections of short stories that are just mine. Broken Mirror and Secondhand, that give you, and they have rom-coms in them too. So that kind of gives you a taste of both, my horror writing as well as my rom-com writing.
Okay.
And they're all completely, I mean, in secondhand, my characters are all older, but they're still suitable for young readers.
Okay. Okay. So it
So
really depends on what genre you like. I mean, we know
Mhm.
YA, but YA has genres, horror,
Yeah. Hmm.
romance, etc. So it really just
Yeah.
depends on what you're interested in. Okay.
Or if you're a Disney kid like me and you just love fairy tale retellings, grab solstice stories.
So when
Wow.
somebody comes to your table, you kind of got to get a feel for them before you figure out what
Hmm.
book they actually would more enjoy.
Yep. And I usually, when someone comes to my table, I'll give them the one word pitches, which is fairy tale retellings, boy band, ghost stories, creepy
Yeah.
short stories, and let them decide.
I can see how you and CJ hit it right off. Y'all are could have been sisters in another life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
I'm
both
getting
multi-genres,
I'm
so
getting tired just listening. I mean, but yeah, y'all are really getting that. I can see how y'all really would have hit it off. So
Oh, yeah. And she's just super sweet. And so is her
yeah,
sister.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and so
I
she.
like sweet people.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. No, we
Ah,
had a blast. Yeah.
that's so cute.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
We had lots of
eh,
fun. There's
eh.
with the Mac thieves, there's lots of cool stuff that we get to do. Oh yeah.
I'm trying. It's not
Yeah,
working.
the Mac. Sorry, you get lots of cool stuff. There's
Oh my gosh.
she's like, where's the magic?
Uh,
Ravenclaw. The magic comes with me.
Ah, that's okay.
My brother, my brother from another mother, Angel is here. He says, "CJ is amazing." Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, where do you get all of the inspiration? Because I'm
yeah.
multi-genre, so I kind of get it, but other people may not. So, where do you get all of your inspiration for like the different types of genres?
Honestly, I write the books that I want to read, and I enjoy so many different things. Like I obviously enjoy boy bands. um, with Dream Scares, the newest one, both of the ideas for my two stories that I contributed, one is about haunted dolls, one is about the fear of being buried alive.
Mm,
And both of these came from I was watching ghost hunting shows. Just my sister and I were just watching them for fun. And one was about a haunted doll, one was about being buried alive. And both of the stories I thought were going to go an entirely different direction. And then they didn't. And I was like, oh, see, if it was me telling the story, or, obviously it wasn't up to me to tell the story because these are things that actually, happen to people. But if I were going to tell a story based on this, occurrence, this is what I would do. And I think it'd be much cooler or spookier. And so that's kind of what I did. The ideas just come from all over.
Like
But at the end of the day,
those are like my worst nightmare right there, besides spiders. Uh, like being buried alive in like creepy dolls.
oh yeah.
No.
And I'm kind of twisted, so I'll go to like an antique store. I made a TikTok even of an antique store, finding every creepy doll I could find and taking a video with this book.
Angel has a question. He said, "Now, is utilizing your past and fictionalizing it a good thing?"
Um, I mean, I think we draw from our interests, we draw from life experiences. I'm working on a book right now and it's kind of I'll say it's kind of a thriller. And it's definitely inspired by a couple people that I have known in real life and how like kind of flat out terrified they made me.
oh, gosh.
So I think it's good to draw on things that you've actually experienced for sure. It helps make your writing even more, I guess, believable.
Real, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it gives
yeah,
it that touch of genuine
yeah.
fear.
I know elements of my past are in different parts of my stories. I'm never going to tell
Mhm,
you which parts are real and which parts are fiction. Uh,
mhm.
those who know me, if you know which ones they are. But you know,
Oh
it
yeah.
adds the elements of realism and parts that I don't know. I've interviewed other people to pull it from.
Like, I'll admit to my family who I'm like the inspirations for this character. I'll admit to them who they are because they know. One of them is no longer in my life, but one of them kind of still is. So I'm definitely not saying more than that. Not directly in my life, but I still have the connection.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's just natural, though. Especially if you write fiction, you're going to be pulling from things that you've seen or experienced in your life.
Mhm.
That's, I mean, it's where you get your ideas a lot, if not
Well,
all of them. You know,
the
so
saying
that's
is truth
natural.
is stranger than fiction for a reason.
Oh, and it's so true. Like, okay, so one in boy band, she's going through kind of like an ethical dilemma in the second book. And at one point I was actually going through a similar ethical dilemma and I threw in a dream that I had uh into that book. So I mean, that was absolutely art imitating real life.
Wow.
Yeah, there was in one of mine, I actually used a real life story of a certain person, I'm not gonna say who it is, in a couple of the different stories. And I asked them to use the story and they said, sure. And someone's like, that isn't real, is it? And I said, no, actually, that one is real.
Oh my
And I could
gosh.
tell you who it was. And like, yeah, you're kidding. And I'm like, no, actually, that one is real. Uh,
Mm.
and they're like, "Are you serious right now?" And I said, "Yeah, no, it
Yep.
was the person right here, and I can tell you exactly who it is." And they're just like, "Are you kidding right
Yeah.
now?" I said, "No." And I said, and I've told other stories about certain things that have happened. Like, I need to put that in the book. I said, I can't because it is that outlandish and people would recognize themselves and I could get sued. Um, so there are certain stories that you can't put into books and
Mm.
that you really want to. And then
Oh,
there are
yeah.
certain stories that you can't. But you know, you just can't.
They're reading your
Yeah,
book
or
and they say, "Hey, I know that person. I met that person. That can't be a fictional one."
But then
yeah.
there's some people that, there are people that I have put into books and they know it and they know who they are.
Mm.
And I've told them and they're perfectly fine with it. And the funny thing is when I put them into books, the first words out of their mouth is please don't kill me. Because I'm known as a literary assassin. So
Well,
some of them are
Oh.
just, hey, just make it a grandiose thing and I'm good.
Mm.
Some people are good with it, some people are not. So, it
Well,
works.
and there are also like historical things like for one of my stories in here, the one about being buried alive. It's called The Bells of Sycamore Hill, which Sycamore Hill is a fictional cemetery, but the idea of cemetery bells is 100% true. And someone actually came up to me and asked me, this isn't
Oh,
real,
yeah.
right? And I said,
What?
no, no, no. Cemetery bells are a real thing that back, especially like in the days of cholera, when
Huh?
people were dying left and right and they didn't necessarily have time to check and make sure that you were dead before they threw you in the ground, they would attach a little bell over your gravestone and attach the string down to your hand. And if you woke up underground in a coffin, you could tug on that
oh my
bell and it would
goodness.
ring.
Yep.
And oh my
Hmm.
God, I'm getting chills talking about it because when I found out about those, I was like, that's one of the most terrifying things I've ever heard. Oh my God, I want to write a story about it.
No, that's real.
So I actually had someone actually come up to me this weekend and be like, that's not real, right? And I'm like, it
No,
is.
that's a real thing. I thought
It's,
everybody knew that.
I thought so too. But well, okay, I didn't, to be fair, I didn't know about it until I watched that ghost hunting show.
I thought
I think it
everybody
was
knew that.
I didn't. No, I think it was Paranormal Caught on Camera and it was just like a couple years ago that I was watching it and found out about him.
Huh. I thought
It's new
everybody
meaning
knew
to
that. Yeah,
ring
I
a
guess
bell,
especially
doesn't it?
flags and all that stuff, they did that because
Hmm.
they just didn't have time to check everybody, so they just
Yeah.
ran the wrist to make sure that
Yeah.
we had that
Hmm.
option.
Yep, nope, I didn't know that either. So, that's what one of my stories is about because that just creeped me out so much.
It is. That is creepy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I thought everyone
You're
knew.
buried underground and you ring a
Yep.
bell. You buried somebody alive. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
thought
Edgar Allan
everyone knew.
Poe, he had a valid reason to be afraid
Yeah.
of being buried alive.
Golly. So, I'm
Wow.
sorry we just buried you accidentally. Good thing we attached a bell to your hand.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so and
I
then they
mean,
would have someone waiting, like an overnight
Yeah.
watchman listening, and if they hear that bell, they go, "Oh man, we gotta dig this person up, come on."
Oh wow.
well, and now they do autopsies now before they put them in the ground, so
Yeah, you live and learn.
I what if they weren't dead before they did the autopsy?
That would be terrifying. Like
Just
you
put it
wake
out
up with okay. This is getting
Hey, there's
maybe
another book.
putting it out there.
slowly not YA.
No.
Okay. Next. So question, are you a planner or a pantser?
I am definitely a pantser.
Yay!
I sit down at the computer, I watch my story like a movie in my head, and I write what I see.
Yep.
Yes, just like me.
Right.
Yep.
Twinsies. That's exactly what I do. So next question. If you were to give advice for somebody who maybe wanted to start like writing YA, what would that be?
My advice to you would be just do it. Because first of all, there is no one correct way to tell a story.
Right.
Only you can tell the story that has I don't know, I kind of view stories as like external entities, and they kind of pick you and they choose you to tell them. That sounds very kind of like hippie-ish, I guess, but it is. It's kind of stories are their own entity, and only you can tell your story the way that it wants to be told.
Mm-hmm. No,
So,
people come to
yeah.
me, they're like, "Hey, I have a story," and I'm like, "Great, write it." And they're like, "Well, no, I
Mhm.
want to write it." I'm like, "No, if the story's given to you, then you need to write the story."
Exactly. And again, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid because you'll go back and re-edit it like 850 times. I can't even count the number of drafts that Solstice Stories has because I mean again, 14 years it took to get this right. Um
So
so there's no time limit. I'm sorry?
what would you say though? Because this is a big issue. We've talked about it before on Book World. We'll probably come back to it, circle back to it at some point. But the use of AI in
I
writing.
almost flicked off the TV. So that's how I feel. I just remembered it's a YA talk show. Oh, I will not touch AI. I will not touch a book that was written by AI. As an environmentalist, I really don't like the impact that it's having on our world. I'm actually a part of the Anthropic lawsuit that, because they pirated my books. I don't know why they pirated Boy Band, but they decided to. So yeah, no, I am very anti-AI all the way.
So let me ask you this, playing the devil's advocate, because I'm totally opposed to it as well. So up until the last year or two, okay, you
Mhm.
had writing programs like Chat GPT,
Mhm.
Grammarly, Scrivener, which were really could be construed as AI light.
Mhm.
So is it appropriate, do you think, in writing that the use of using writing aids such as those is appropriate, or is that still too much over the AI line today as they're formatted?
My theory or my personal feelings are well, ChatGPT, first of all, like all those AI, they've been trained on the stolen work of others.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't think, giving them more of your like ideas and stuff is great because they're just going to steal it and spit it back out. But, humans have created art for thousands and thousands of years
Hmm.
all by themselves. Why suddenly do you need to talk to a fake computer and say, "Hey, help me with this dialogue," or "Hey, well, get a friend to do that. I have my sister. Ask your sister. Ask a chat group online of actual humans, not a I don't know. I have very very strong feelings, and they don't include a whole lot of nice language about artificial intelligence. Uh, so
I look I
I'm
look at it like,
yeah.
because I was a public educator for 38 years. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, let me see your test so I can copy your answers down.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not your work.
Yeah.
And but I will say, and CJ and I, we've had this conversation on, like I said, on previous podcasts. I do think there is a place for for grammar, for people, like, hey, you misspelled this word, or hey, this is where the comma goes. Use the past tense instead of present. Because those were in play long before.
Oh, yeah, yeah, like
You know,
on Microsoft, we've had the spell checker and the grammar checker there since I was in elementary school.
uh,
So, I don't like, if you're gonna run it through and say, "Hey, check for commas, check for spelling errors," that's fine. It's the generative AI that
Yes. Not
really
the,
is.
not the assist of yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
like, I mean, again, we've had those spell checkers and grammar checkers for forever.
well, you've got
He said-
plenty of ideas. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
you've got
says,
plenty
I
of
completely
ideas.
support that. And he also says writing is an art form.
exactly.
And you obviously enjoy writing, or you wouldn't be doing this. And so, that just it circles back to why are you, if you can't do your own work, why are you doing it? Because if you're not getting
Exactly.
fulfillment. But anyway, I'm sorry, we got sidetracked.
Oh, no. It's something we should all absolutely be talking about. And there's something else I've heard about, like, in schools. You mentioned you were an educator. I've heard that now to grade SATs, they're running it through AI, and
Oh,
it's either
man,
all or nothing. So,
really?
like, if it sees even one thing that's wrong, they're going to be like, "Oh, this person failed," when it's like, "Oh, no, wait a minute. No."
Huh.
And it spits out incorrect information all the time. It's been known to make up, like,
Hmm.
court cases in actual courts of law, and I just don't see how anyone can trust it. I think that's one of my big issues is,
Mhm.
I barely trust Google. I barely trust Wikipedia because I know people can edit it.
Oh yeah.
How can you possibly trust something that basically gobbles up information and then regurgitates it in no particular order? It's just like, "Oh, you asked me a question about a frog? Here's this time that a man turned into a frog, and then a princess kissed him and then turned into a frog too." Completely regurgitating a Disney movie.
Yeah. It
So,
takes the joy out of writing. I mean, the point in
it
writing is,
really does.
yeah, is that you're making something. Now, it may not be as good as someone else, but it's your work. And
Mhm.
anyway, like I said, I'm sorry I forced that question in there, and I
No, it's
probably
again,
shouldn't.
and it's a very important topic to discuss. And not only because of the creativity that it takes from the world, but also, again, the natural resources. I'm terrified of the world we're going to be living in 10 years thanks to AI and all the ways we're not taking care of the environment and the planet.
Mhm. No, I totally agree. And it needs to honestly just go away to be for real.
Again, now if you want to use AI to, like, detect breast cancer 5
Mm.
years in advance, fantastic. I would love that. I have, family members who've had cancer before, and if it could in any way help prevent or in some way, make their lives better, easier, give us a higher survival rate, fantastic. But it has no place in the arts.
Mhm. No, I totally agree.
And I'm
Well,
sorry, this is something I'm very passionate
no,
about, so
I'm
I'm
with
gonna
you.
reel you back in.
As the cancer survivor, I'm with you. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
I
yes.
hear you. I hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But as a writer, no, it doesn't belong there. It doesn't belong in art, period.
Mm-mm. No.
Uh, but Jackie, thank you so much for coming on. Check
Thank
out
you so much for having me.
you can check out Jackie at Instagram under Jacqueline E. Smith. Make sure to get that E in there and you can find her. She's scrolling down here, or you can find her in the links. It's been dropped down below. Make sure to check her out at JACQUELINE on Instagram. Make sure to check us out. You can check us out next week. We're going to have Kay Latham from East Texas Writers Association. She is our president. We're going to talk about the East Texas Writers Association next Wednesday at 4:00. Jackie, thanks for joining us. You're always a treat to have on. Make sure to check her out. What is your next Comic-Con?
So my next Comic-Con is going to be Anime Dallas, the weekend of April 17th to 19th.
Okay. Any other future Comic-Cons, you can check her out. I'm sure she'll post them on her Instagram.
I will
But
for sure.
make sure to get her books. You can check them out on her Amazon author page. Guys, see you guys next week at 4:00.